For those golfers who are trying to improve their fitness level over the winter, got to listen to this one. Check it out. These are starting to turn into fireside chats. So a couple points I want to make when it comes to fitness over 40. Number one is you have to have protein. I spent so much of my life, especially in my 30s, as I was trying to get into shape, I would go mountain biking. I would try to do about 50 miles per week. And to give you an idea, 50 miles per week, it's a lot. And it's so much tax on the body, so much time away from family. The downside to this is I keep sending this signal to my body that I want you to get super efficient with calories, which your body does. It adapts super quickly. I get overly adapted to the amount of calorie burn that I'm throwing at it. And my body says, okay, slow metabolism, slow metabolism, slow metabolism, so I can endure whatever cardiovascular fitness that I'm throwing at it. And the downside to that is now I've gotten really efficient with calories. And when I put more calories into my body, it preserves them, stores them to make sure I can endure whatever activity I do the rest of the way. Protein combined with lifting weights sends an entirely different signal. It took me a long time to figure this out through studying, or three more or less gurus that I've studied. Number one is Dr. Andy Gilpin, the gentleman at Mind Pump Fitness, and then lastly, Peter Attia. Now, each brings their own expertise to the game. One of them being Andy Gilpin is a scientist combined with he works with athletes. Mind Pump, they were trainers for 30 plus years, over 100 years of experience in professional bodybuilding and other genres. And then lastly, Peter Attia, who attacks from the longevity space. Now, each one requires you to do things on different protocol or different modalities to achieve whatever fitness that you're trying to gain. But I've narrowed it down to what works for me personally, and that is, okay, I need 200 grams of protein a day. And I do this 4 times a year for a month at a time. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. And what I do during that phase is I try to put on as much muscle, hypertrophy. That's the adaptation that you're going through. And try to put on as much muscle during that time. It boosts my metabolism a ton. And to give you an idea, that's about 800 calories a day from just protein. And then that's and during that time frame, I'm eating around 3,200 calories. And I'm just trying to put on some muscle so my metabolism is through the roof. And what I've done is I say every time I lift, I tell my body to build. And that is an amazing way. It's super inefficient with calories. Muscle is absolutely so inefficient with calories. I could sit here on my seat all day and I just burn more than the average Joe just because of my metabolic inefficiency when it comes to calorie use. I just once I get it, it wants to spend it. Whereas somebody who trains from a cardiovascular standpoint all the time, it's the opposite signal. Oh my goodness, I've got all these calories coming in. I've got to save it. I've got to save it. It's very different. Even during a muscle building session, I'm not going to burn that many calories, to be honest. It's going to be very small. You have to look at it from an investment standpoint opposed to a going to work standpoint, which that's what you would look like. Muscle building is an investment that pays back dividends. Cardio is more like going to work. You go to work and get a paycheck. Okay, I input 500 calories and now I got to go expend 500 calories in my cardiovascular session. Totally different on the muscle building side. I'm going to go build muscle tissue. I'm going to receive a dividend that pays me back over and over and over and over again. Okay, so, and the other way to look at this from why protein's so important is when you eat protein, it is the most inefficient from an energy standpoint. So if I ate 800 calories, I really burn a couple hundred just to process what's coming in. And the best way to think about this is if you have a campfire, there's a couple things that will happen. A campfire, if I put in kindling or I put in branches, small branches, any kind of grasses, that would be like your carbohydrates. It's instant energy that burns really, really, really quickly. And if it's not used, it gets stored. Now, when it comes to fat, it's different. It's like a log or a long burning charcoal. You put it in there and it'll just smolder forever, right? And then if you put protein into the body or into the campfire, it's like putting metal into the fire. It requires so much heat and so much energy to burn and break down. That's very similar to what happens within the body. It takes so much energy to dwindle it and to use it. You expend tons of calories. So the more protein that you do eat, one, it's going to go to the anabolic process, especially if you're lifting weights. It's going to go build, build, build. But it does this protein synthesis even without you sending an anabolic signal by lifting. Carbohydrates, totally different. Not that carbohydrates are bad, they're great for helping, and that's a different subject, but protein is the staple of what you need to do on a day in, day out basis. If you take one thing away from this fireside chat, if you will, is eat your desired body weight in protein grams. My bare minimum, no matter what, my ideal body weight is 180 pounds, and I am eating 180 grams every single day, except when I am going through a huge muscle building phase, which I'm trying to put 5, maybe even 10 pounds on. And that's when I bump it up to 200 grams per day. I hope this helps. Talk again soon.